stuff. Thank you for bringing some value, and I'm looking forward to piggybacking onto this and continue to add massive value to the group here today. So appreciate you, and let's get this show on the road.
Thank you, Carlos. Enjoy, guys. And you guys are by the way, if you don't know who Carlos German is, his energy is amazing. His content is incredible. He's built a massive revenue share organization, and he has put together a special panel for you guys called Limitless, which truly the next I think it's an hour and a half, correct, Carlos?
That is correct.
The next hour and a half is going to be fire. It's going to be amazing. I was trying to figure out where the high five key is here on here. I don't know where it is. So just high five to you. There you go. High five on camera. Carlos, enjoy, man. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much, Jesse. All right, guys. So a few housekeeping items. I know a lot of you have been here and through the morning session, so I won't drag it out. But the stage Zoom. Next to the chat is the feature you want to use if you're a little bit towards the back and you want to get your zoom in to the crowd and to the panel that we're going to have here on stage. You also want to make sure you remain muted unless we call you out, and we want to bring a ton of energy into the chat. We're going to be giving away 5 books from Brent Gove, 5 copies of Momentum. And so you make sure that you're fired up, you're geared up to engage with us. And we're going to pick some of you who are engaging in the chat, who are engaging with energy, and who are here interacting. We want to make sure that you're plugged in. With that, I'm going to have our panelists come on up. So Brent Gove is one of the most amazing, biggest heart influencers in the company. He's going to be joining us. We have Jennifer Encarnacion, who has grown a massive EXP organization while still in the trenches and working and, building her business and being a proud mom. We got Dan Husman, who is also, another awesome producer that is in the trenches, but has grown an organization of around 400 people. We got Alex Haig, we have Ken Williams, and we are going to bring the value. So let's say hi, guys. Brent, Jennifer, Alex. I don't see Ken here yet, but he'll get here. I know he's in the room. So let's say hi to the crowd, Brent.
What's going on, everybody? It's a pleasure to be here. I'm stoked to do the panel with all these other champions, Jennifer, Alex, Dan, Ken, and of course, Carlos. Man, if you don't know Carlos, get to know Carlos. What a great story he has. That's why he's running the panel. But I'm fired up.
Brent, you look great.
Yeah, thanks.
Awesome. Very good. Let's see. Alex, you want to say hi to the crowd? All right, let's see. Let's go with Jennifer. Jennifer, go ahead.
Hey. I hope that lots of people get out of this what, you came here to look for. My name is Jennifer Encarnacion in Orlando, Florida. I am part of the great Carlos German's downline. And I'm really looking forward to, just being an open book for you. And let's keep killing it, y'all.
Awesome. So for the panelists and for everybody in the crowd, like if you're not speaking, let's hit mute. That way there's less feedback. And Dan, go ahead. Let's unmute yourself and introduce yourself, bro.
Hey, everybody. I'm super grateful to be here today and just ready to share anything and everything that I've learned along the way. I'm a student of the game, so anything I know, I'm happy to share, and hope you get a lot of value. Thank you.
Hey, Carlos.
Yes, Ken, how's it going?
It's going good. Not going to let any technical difficulties. I'm going to speak out of the body of Vanessa from her computer while she works on mine so I can jump on stage. But I'm here ready to share my passion, what I'm going through, and my willing not to let anything stop me, including computer issues right now.
Sounds good. Appreciate it. And that's how we do. We make it happen no matter what. Awesome. All right. So if you guys, have been to any of, my classes, my meetings, or anything that I do, I like to start with amazing positive focus. So I'm going to play a video and, I'm going to play this little video. And I want you, when you're watching the video or when the video is done, I want you to put in the chat the first thing that comes to your mind, how you're feeling, what you're grateful for, how you're going to stay in peak performance here on this day. So I'm going to put that on the screen here in the center, and we're going to play it for you guys and get you into that peak state of emotion.
There are some things in your life that will make you run. There are certain things that will happen in your life that make you pick up the pace, that slap you out of your stupor and say, this ain't no time to cry. You gotta run. You gotta run. You gotta run. You can't just wake up in the morning and let me see what's gonna happen.
All right, looks like we're getting a tech issue here. Let's see what's going on. Let me claim ownership of this thing so that nobody. All right, let's see. Eyes on the prize. Love it, love it, love it. I know we have a couple of staff members here, so if any of the staff members wants to hop on here and help out, let me know. All right, somebody said the link, post the link. Let's do that. Let's post the link right here. I want you to check out that video and get into that trance for me. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, that's definitely not the video. right, now we got this under control.
There are some things in your life that will make you run. There are certain things that will happen in your life that make you pick up the pace, that slap you out of your stupor and say, this ain't no time to cry. You gotta run. You gotta run. You gotta run. You can't just wake up in the morning and let me see what's gonna happen today. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna wear. I don't know what I'm gonna cook. I don't know where I'm gonna go. I just woke up. Oh, you should stay in the bed. Give the day to somebody who's gonna run after their destiny. Give the day to somebody who has a plan, who has a strategy, because success is never an accident. And if you don't want it, get out of my way. Because there are some people who want to do something with their life, who will run. I would rather aim for the stars and not hit them than to not aim at all. I would rather go after it and not get it than not go after it at all. I'd rather try and fail than not try at all. I don't want to live with the idea, wonder what would have happened had I done more with my life. I'm going to go for it, come hell or high water. I'm going after my destiny. Touch your neighbor and say, run. You got to run after your destiny. You can't stroll after your destiny. You can't walk after your destiny. You got to run. Somebody holler, run. Somebody's late, but you made up your mind. I'm going to start running. I didn't get it till I got to this age, but I'm going to start running. I messed up junior high, but now I'm going to start running. I messed up high school, but now I'm going to start running. The moment you get the word, you ought to run. The Bible said, the day you hear my voice, harden not your heart. When God gives you a chance at an escape, don't be cute. Run after your destiny. My God, run! Run! Do y'all hear me? Run! Run after your destiny. Run after it. Run after it. Run! Don't be ashamed. Run!
Woo! Who's ready to run? I see that chat blowing up. Appreciate you guys. Let me see that energy. Seeing the names. These are the names that are going to be winning books right here. We see Angela. We see, Sean. We see AZ, Phil. Keep crushing it, guys. So here's the deal. There's no excuse. You guys are here because you want more. You're here because you want to not only crush yourselves, but you want to build a team. You want to grow an organization. And we've assembled a group of agents of all levels so you can relate, so you can learn from their stories, so you can connect with them, so you can feel like this is possible for you. Because at the end of the day, first, you have to believe it for yourself. And then you're going to take those actions. Right now, there's a lot of you that are saying, I don't know how to do it, or I'm selling too many houses. I don't have the time. Well, right here, right now, we're going to get started with this panel because we are going to bring you different case stories of agents that have done it while being massively successful in the business in sales. And some of them decided to eventually go all in and bring in their revenue share group as the number one pillar of their business. I know a lot of you here want to get to that point when you don't have to sell another house. If you work with the buyers because you choose to, not because you have to. because you have another pillar of your business that's bringing it all. So with that, we're going to start asking the panelists for their stories and where they were before coming to EXP, where they were before being productively insane, becoming a warrior in productivity, so you guys can get those nuggets and start making your own journey. So let's start with Ken Williams right here, who's going to be on a stage and speak out of the body of Vanessa. So go ahead, Ken, and let's tell us a little bit before you found your productivity groove. Where were you? What were you doing? How are you feeling? And what was your life like?
And Carlos, can you hear me?
Perfectly clear. Awesome. Great to have you here, brother.
Yes. And in my own body, it was a little weird. Man, when I thought about to hear you ask, I'm trying to figure out, man, how down and dirty can I get with this? But we're all family here. So EXP world, I really hope you allow me to be truthful, be honest with me. And I'm not in no judgment area. I know in our circle, there's no judgment. So with that being said, the best way I could summarize it is I was escaping. I was escaping everything that life had taught me I am not. I was one of those people in doubt. I grew up with 11 brothers and sisters. I didn't know what my own bed felt like on my own until I joined the military. And even then, I had to share that with 30 people in a room. So I think that I spent a good portion of my life leading into my career really, because I always kind of feel people are doing one or two things. They're either moving away from something or moving towards something. And I think I was moving away from things. I was trying to disconnect, trying to reinvent the wheel. I was trying to be something that I was not because I didn't think that I was much of anything. I used everything from my skin color to everything like that. So even when after joining the military, after being a police officer and thinking that the uniforms that I wore was going to make me into something, and then eventually when time moved on and fast forward and getting into real estate before meeting you, I was still escaping. And then I was escaping the 9 to 5. Entrepreneur spirit was not in me yet. I was still escaping something. And when you're, and the reason why I'm emphasizing on the fact that I was in an escape mode, you're not paying attention really, because you got so many things that you're wishing for and hoping for. And I was one of those ones that, Friday was a good day and Monday was a bad day. Why? Because that's what life taught me. If you're going to do this, then you got to do this. You got to keep your goals and your dreams a reality. Don't get too cute. Don't get too cocky. Everything was like, and I think it was like, just take your share. And but I kept feeling like that was not the answer. So I kind of felt like, I was chasing from society's rules, but I felt I had nowhere to go. So I ended up meeting you and joining, Carlos' Germany team, even before EXP. And then I started transitioning into the structure. So I would probably say, to sum up, what I was doing before this was I was running, but I was running away from things. And I think that's what held me up, to get me where I'm at today. So because when you're too busy running, you're too busy thinking about yourself. And I think that's what I was feeling during that time. So everything was about me. If I had a job, if I did something, I was more or less thinking about me, which was against my natural self. So I never felt good about what I did unless I had a trophy in my hand or an award or something. So I definitely faked it till I made it. I had the resume that looked good. Even you asked me when I interviewed with you, what is it that you think you can do for me? Because it looked like I had it all already. And I was ashamed to tell you at the time that I didn't have joy, I didn't have happiness, and I didn't have peace. I was still running. And even when coming to you, I saw it was coming and running and hiding. And I hope somebody out here can understand. We got a lot of people sitting in this room right now, Carlos, and I know I could feel it, that they are running still. They're not coming here to look and grab and say, I know what I'm missing. They're still trying to just put a checkbox. Okay, I came to EXPCon and I hope somebody does something to make me successful. And they're still not realizing that it's in them. So I stand before you realizing that as long as you're thinking about what you're losing, if you're thinking about who you are by yourself, you're going to always be running, and you're running not towards. So, yeah, I was just running away until I got here.
Amazing. And I'll echo what's been said in the chat. Thank you so much for service, Ken. Today being Veterans Day. So let's show Ken some love. Amazing. He's done it at multiple levels, and we truly, truly appreciate you. So what I'm hearing here is key, and that is a lot of people run from their destiny and not to their destiny. And sometimes, they need that jolt, that energy to get things into perspective and move in the right direction. So we'll come back to that. Dan, let's go to you. Tell me a little bit about, obviously we're here because we want to share our journey towards, what a lot of people in this crowd want, right? They want growth. They want more. They want to have multiple pillars of revenue to their business. But where were you before, right? Where were you before you actually were able to unlock this true potential?
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. So a couple of things, a little bit prior, just a few months prior to EXP, I was doing fine. I'd had my best 2 years back to back. I'm not a mega agent kind of guy. I was doing about 20 deals a year. That was kind of a sweet spot where I felt that I could still be a father and a husband. Never really aspired to sell a couple hundred homes a year. Looking back, what I've learned since I've been at EXP, if somebody would have put their arm around me and said, hey, we can help you double your income and work the same amount of time with putting some systems and some hires in place, that would have been interesting to me. But if someone would have said you want to sell 40-something homes instead of 20, wouldn't have been too interested. So one day, at this company that I was super comfortable at and super happy with, a couple things started happening, which made me look into the company. There's three sides to every story, but my side was I wasn't happy and I knew I had to leave. So I had a lot of pain because I was happy there and comfortable there prior to that event. And a friend came up to me instead of, I mentioned to him I was looking to leave. He said, you heard of EXP Realty? I said, yeah, but I don't think they're in Georgia. Well, I started doing due diligence. I'm a little unusual in that I found my own sponsor. So I had a lot of pain, and when I found EXP and found the gentleman that I designated would be my sponsor, I had a lot of pleasure. So one reason I'm telling you guys this is I'm the agent. When you get out of this meeting and when you start on your journey or when you continue to talk to agents, I'm the guy you're looking for. You're looking for someone with pain or pleasure. And I had a whole lot of both. The reason I had a lot of pleasure was prior to that day that I realized that I wasn't going to be able to stay at the company I was at, 20 plus years in real estate. And for the first time, I had a paralyzing thought one day sitting at my desk with a list of buyers to call back. Now, I love selling real estate, but the thought was, I don't think I have another 20 years of amendments to address concerns left in me. And that was a scary thought because I thought, well, I don't know what else I could do. I mean, I could probably get a job, but if I got a job, I probably wouldn't be happy there. So I joke with my sponsor, I don't know that I'm hireable. I mean, I think I could get hired, but I probably wouldn't be too happy staying there. After selling real estate for this long and having a lot of flexibility and making all my son's baseball games and being a coach and going to my daughter's cheerleading, I was a little worried that type of lifestyle wouldn't be the same. And I didn't think I could probably get hired on a salary for what I was making selling real estate. So that paralyzing thought scared the crap out of me because I really had no idea for a few minutes there what to do. And I'm a praying man, so it wasn't too long later that I found EXP Realty. That's where a lot of the pleasure came in. I really thought they nailed the model. I thought I could be successful with the model. But I didn't know. I mean, I've seen a lot of things in real estate and a lot of promises were made to me that either I didn't hold up to my end or the person, tell me they would help me get to the top didn't hold up to their end. So, when you go out there and start talking to other agents, they're, in my experiences, they're not too interested in hearing about a move or a change unless you show them how much you can help them. And then you have to dig in and find a little pain or a little pleasure within there. So, my first 3 months, I did everything wrong. I talked to a lot of agents and told them a lot of things they didn't want to hear, and talked to a lot of people with a lot of closed gates that probably couldn't wait to get off the phone or get me away from them. But after a little while, I found a few friends that I brought over, started getting a little momentum, and realized I have a passion for helping agents that receive that help that I was looking for. And sometimes I didn't even know I was looking for it. But, now I wake up every day. I'm a rejuvenated man. I'm feels like year one in real estate, even though I've been at EXP a little over 2.5 years. And I'm just looking for that next agent that I can help. And then I'm also still out selling a few properties that I have scaled that back a little bit, but it's part of my life. I don't know that I could, it'd take a lot for me not to sell any homes. I'm mostly working with my referral clients, and then I'm trying to help agents and partner up on deals more so than do deals all by myself.
Awesome. Amazing. So, let me go a little bit into one thing that you mentioned there. So, obviously selling homes is still and has been part of your life. Now you're saying, find someone like me with pain, right? So you've done an amazing job of finding those agents with that pain. However, you've done it organically, you've done it slowly, but you built a group of around 300 agents or so. How many is it right now?
Yeah, so 381. I personally brought over 42. The real numbers, total transparency here, 42. I still have 35. 4 of them are married, 41. So those 31-ish have built the other 381. Took me a while to get some key people who brought over some key people. The biggest team I brought over is 4. So mostly a single agent kind of attractor. But I'm working on that. I'm practicing and working on the process of attracting up, as they say.
Excellent. So we'll come back to how you did that, the specific strategies of how a single agent who came to EXP without a team and who is not a mega producer, who's not, any keynote, any rock star, found his way slowly but surely into an amazing pillar of his business. So we'll come back to that, guys. Let's go over to another, amazing productivity warrior here, Jennifer Encarnacion, who is building a powerful organization as well. And she's still in production. She's adding amazing value to people's lives. So Jennifer, let's go a little bit into your story and your struggles, and ultimately, before you put it all together, how you have it now. And I know there's still progress, and we're super achievers, so we're always improving. But let's go into that day where you still didn't have it all together, and where were you? What were you doing, and how did it feel?
Well, that is a loaded question. So, all right, I'll be honest. I didn't find EXP. EXP kind of just landed in my lap, and I didn't think it was sexy. But it wasn't sexy. I think it was more an emotional reason why. At that time, my previous brokerage, they actually were converting into EXP. So, which meant my broker / real estate coach was like, hey, Jen, poke holes into this, the classic line. And I was like, bro, what does this mean? You're leaving me? So I thought he was going to retire and take off to like Mexico and just forget about me. And it was really, really hard. So I started venturing off, just to be very honest. I started venturing off and just exploring different brokerages. And that was my thing. I was like, little rebellious child, just out and just gone. And I looked into different brokerages, finally came back to EXP. And when I circled back, I was like, so, just going to give you more information. My previous brokerage, I was making really good money residually. But what I was forced to change my mindset on was not short term. What's the long term plan here? And when I thought of it like that, and I sat down and really, I'm a very visual, hands-on person. So when I actually sat down and went through the numbers, and I was like, my mindset shift at that point, and it really shifted from a scarcity mindset to a more abundant mindset. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't like, boom, right that minute. It was just a magical power that came over me. It was really just like, holy cow, that's the possibility, which outweighed the previous brokerage that I was at. So, that was one big challenge. But that was just one, that wasn't a simple overnight thing for me. This thing dragged on for about a month. And finally, when I made the move to EXP, I was committed to 40 agents in 6 months. And I didn't know how that would look. I didn't know how that would feel. I really didn't know. But I just knew that if I was going to be with a company that had such exponential potential for me to live a life that I honestly couldn't even imagine living, that I was going to go hard. And I'm a very all in or all the way out kind of person by nature. So, in my first 6 months, I wasn't able to hit my goal of helping 40 people, but I was able to, I think that first 6 months, it was probably close to 30, a little over 30, probably 31 or 32, which was a blessing, because I realized, though, a lot of the times I didn't even have to talk about EXP. I didn't know anything about EXP, nor did I want to dive into it. I just dove in wanting to hit the ground running. And kudos to you, Carlos, Veronica, Gil, my upline, or even Bobby, I utilized the hell out of y'all because I didn't know anything about EXP. So that really, really helped me. And not only that, making that introduction to people who have had, like yourself, independent brokerages, or people who've owned franchise and converted over. These are like my personal coaches and mentors who helped me in my business to this day. So being able to really make that introduction, it was so fulfilling for me, because it wasn't hey, let me tell you about EXP. You guys really coached and mentored them in a coaching session, which by just naturally, you want to be around people that are going to help your business. I want to always be surrounded by people who are inspiring me. So, I came into real estate period as a single mother, raised my boy for his first probably 10 years of life, and now he's 14 and our family's growing and we're living a beautiful life now. But it's, I really am grateful for, the people that I've helped. I get to leverage in so many ways, and I get to, literally help others with their business, and it's just been a blessing. There's been tons of challenges in the process. Like I said, I didn't know much about EXP, but really just being able to reach out to people who do know and who can coach, and learning their style is now I'm able to put myself in a position where I can coach and mentor and really help other agents out, for the simple fact that, I've seen it. I went through it. I see what they do, and I'm totally duplicating Carlos, Veronica, Gil, Bobby, everything, all the systems that they have in place, I'm leveraging or I'm duplicating. And that's really, really, I give, a lot of my success to my leaders around me. And it was this culture that really is, I've capped my second year with EXP. And that's amazing. I've never capped at any other brokerage. I get to really influence people in their business. So there's just so many blessings that I can just bore people with. But I think at the end of the day, it's really just that mindset from thinking scarcity, thinking like, oh my God, you know, I got to pay monthly bills, you know, I got to pay a monthly fee to the brokerage, like really going from literally, I was there, and it was hard, but I, you know, activate faith and you just go for it, man. And just don't look back, and you know that things got to work out because it's just going to work out. And when you have that certainty, you'll find a way.
Awesome. Let me have you mute yourself, Jen. There we go. All right. So basically, you know, you're a capping agent. And while you're capping, you built, you know, you got 30 plus agents. First 6 months, you've got an organization of 100 or so agents. How many agents do you have right now, Jen?
I just checked right before this because I knew you were going to ask me that, and I'm doing better with knowing my numbers, but I have right now 142 agents in my organization total.
Woo! Amazing.
Yeah, so I'm super pumped about it.
May I have you mute yourself again? All right, guys. So as you heard, I mean, you know, Jennifer's got 142. She's still selling. She's a capping agent. She's out there doing it. And, you know, one of the biggest things that she mentioned is plugging into those that came before you, plugging into mentors. We all have them. We all have leaders that came before us. And, you know, I'm flattered that obviously Jennifer is duplicating some of the stuff that I do, but, you know, I didn't make this stuff up. I've got one of my biggest mentors here together with, you know, others like Jay Kinder and Michael Reeves. But, you know, Brent Gove, everything he does, I try to copy and duplicate and use and leverage, right? So first you gotta leverage and be someone that is willing to be a student first. And as you heard Jen, that's what she did. She was blessed by the fact that she didn't know anything about, or she didn't care to learn so much about EXP. She would just take someone and put them in front of leaders. And we all have those leaders. We've got Brent Gove here, who is one of the most big-hearted, massive leaders in the company. I love this guy. So Brent, let me have you, you know, share with the audience a little bit of the early Brent, you know, before you figured out, you know, how to grow a massive organization. How did you make it happen? You know, you still had your team coming to EXP. You still had to nurture that a little bit, but you made some decisions that led to where you're at today. So let's have you share a little bit of that with the audience.
Well, sounds great. Thank you, Carlos. This is just totally awesome, man. Look at this room. There's over 500 people in the room. And because it's virtual, we didn't pay a dime for it. We got to heat and cool it. Nobody had to fly here, get hotel rooms, Uber. Everybody's saving a ton of money. We're running highly efficient and super cool. And Ken, Dan, Jen, Jennifer, wow, you guys are rock stars. Totally love this. So, man, okay. So roll back the time. It was about 4 years ago. And when I joined EXP, October 21st was 4 years ago. And basically, I was in love with Keller Williams, never leaving the company, going to retire there, greatest company on the planet. I mean, I really felt like nobody was even in the same universe. There was just absolutely no comparison. And I just agreed to watch this EXP thing, you know, what's this? And, you know, I was going, yeah, interesting, not for me, but thanks, which I'm always looking at stuff. But when the presentation was over, I'm like, I remember saying, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm actually really, really interested because it's just different. It's not that it was better than Keller Williams. It's different. This had a retirement component. This had a real equity component. By the way, most of my friends who sell at a pretty good level, I'm talking 40, 50, 60 homes a year, they're all millionaires now through the stock in the past 4 years. And nobody's missed that boat. We've done this with 38,000 agents. Wait till we have 100,000 and 200,000. The stock's going to look like they were given away for free at 40-something a share. So I'm telling you, I bought stock last week. I'm buying stock this week. I'm so excited. I know where our future is in 5-10 years. It's going to freak everybody out in the room. We're going to be one of those big companies, baby. So I flew to San Antonio, went to EXP's annual convention, interrogated 100 people, and 2 weeks later, I moved my team. I had 18 agents, 6 listing specialists, 12 buyer specialists, doing $100 million a year in sales at Keller, and moved them to EXP, and just didn't miss a beat. Moved on a Wednesday night. We literally all met at the office at 10 o'clock. We didn't want to disturb our office. Our office had been great to us, so we wanted to be great to them. So we moved from 10 to midnight. Midnight, we roll into our new office, unload till 1 in the morning. Next morning, we're back at 8 a.m. Everybody, laptops open, did not miss a beat. I mean, it was so easy. I think it's harder to go to Whole Foods, park your car, go in and go grocery shopping. This was no big deal moving companies. And we switched over our business. By the way, do you know if your old broker's going to charge you that EXP won't charge you? If they're going to charge you 20%, 30, 40, 50%, EXP does a pass through and doesn't charge the 20% to the agent. Check into that. But, it's pretty cool. A lot of people are not aware of that. And they're like, oh my gosh, I was waiting to close deals, but then they're always doing no deals. They can move. And if their old brokerage charges them their 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%, EXP doesn't take the 20%. It's pretty cool. Side note. But so I got into EXP, Carlos, to answer your question. And I was carrying anywhere from 18 to 28 listings at all times. So I've been doing it for 2 decades, 20 years, handpicked, cherry-picked the listings, so to speak, those, to put it in Dan's language, those beautiful Georgia peaches. I would handpick the peaches I wanted, nice, coachable clients that were, list the property at the proper price and bring me gifts. After 20 years, I'm sick of bringing them gifts from Starbucks. You can buy me a gift if you want to be my nice people, not those other people. And so just loving K-Dub. And then I go to EXP, switched all my 35 escrows and listings over. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, did you recruit every day? I mean, we enrolled 40 in my first 8 months. I believe it was 8 months. And at the end of the 13 months, had 878 agents. And we were just all in. But what I did was, I did listing appointments every day. You guys think all I did was recruit every day? Man, I did listing appointments every day. It's 18 to 28 listings at all times because I went on listing appointments every day. I was not a wandering generality. I was a meaningful specific. I am going on listing appointments every day. Willed it to happen. Ask people, get scrappy, hustle, struggle. Took me 10 years of struggling to really figure out listings. And mainly I love working with buyers. But basically, I switched to listings after a decade, and that was about 14 years ago, and kind of figured it out. Not overnight. I struggled. My story, Carlos, is struggle, overcome, succeed. Struggle, overcome, succeed. Hustle, get scrappy, have grit, progress before perfection. Don't learn the script perfectly and then do it. Just do it and go, man, I screwed that up. I won't do it that way. Ooh, I said that. They did this. Oh, I'm going to do more of that. And massive action. You get good quick. Massive action. You get good quick. You do a little bit here or there, poke it with the stick. It's frustrating. It won't work. You'll never become a listing agent. You'll never become a buyer's agent. You'll never become an agent attraction master. Do a lot. Do the best you can. Don't beat yourself up. Focus on your wins. And so really there's the 2-10-40. I think Dawn was talking about that before I got on. Prospect 2 people a day, 5 days a week. That's 10 a week times typical 4-week month. There's 40 a month. 2-10-40. Taught by Remax recruiters, taught by Keller Williams recruiters, taught by EXP, taught by Don Yoakum, who owned 30 Keller Williams, and Sean Kokoska, who is the president of MAPS Coaching. They're all here at EXP now, everybody. Nolly Williams, I mean, you name it, all the stars, they're all here. They're all coming. And so to wrap this up, I just said I'm super busy. I got this 18 agent team. I have all these listings. A lot of you aspire to have 18 to 28 listings. Let me tell you what it's like. I'm going to wave the magic wand. I'm going to give you 18 to 28 listings. Boom. You all have 18 to 28 listings. This means I've just given you 18 to 28 mini employers. You have to become a master at staying in control because they will run you around the field. You got to stay in control. And really, there's 18 to 28 little bosses. It's not as fun as you think. We put up with it because that's all we know. But long story short, only had Friday afternoons from 2 to 5 that I felt was flexible time, flex time. And many people know the story. Some of you don't. And I'll end with this. From 2 to 5, I called 3 to 5, not 35. It's something anyone could do in the audience. And I was not good. I was excited, though. And excitement will make up for all your horrible, misscripted, I said the wrong thing, I put my foot in my mouth. Man, if you're excited, they're like, I don't really understand what Carlos is talking about, but he's so excited, I better pay attention. And so you're then going to bring them to your side of the fence, the positive. So they're going to drag you across the line like a tug of war and pull you into the mud pit. That'll never work, blah, 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 their side of the fence. And like Dan said, he talked to so many people that gates were closed, and then you make the big difference. And Ken, we can hear you talking. Ken, we love you, man. Your mic's hot now. Anyways, I'll wrap up with that. And then Ken, like he said, making a difference. I wanted to make a difference as a policeman and found out that he's making a bigger difference here. So awesome, Ken. Loved your story. Jen, Dan, you guys are studs. Carlos, I can't wait for you to share more of yours. Hopefully I didn't talk too long, but there's a little burst. So 1 day a week, 3 hours. I never missed. I called 3 to 5, maybe 7 people during that 3-hour time. Occasionally, but usually 3 to 5 agents had open, honest dialogue, set up appointments to show them the modelexplain.com, the webinar, and met with them either in person, 68% success rate if I went in person, or back off over a Zoom, or they get on, I get on, and watched it with them, 48 success rate. Or you send them the webinar, let them watch it, then you chase, it drops down to like 10 or 20%. Your call. You wouldn't email your listing presentation, stop sending the webinar to people and ask them to watch it. And I'll call you next week. That's not how you get listings. It's not how you attract agents. I hope that helped, Carlos.
Woo! Absolutely. That was fire. If you can mute yourself, Brent, I appreciate it.
I'm trying. Here we go.
There we go. Man, here's the thing, guys. You came here because you wanted the secrets, right? The secret sauce. And you've heard it in this panel already. And we're going to go even deeper into that. And the reality of this is, it's all about that energy. You got to want it. You got to really, really block that time, right? That was a big nugget, that Freedom Friday, 3 to 5, making those 3 to 5 calls, and 2, 10, 40, 2 a day, 10 a week, 40 total a month, 4 weeks, right? That's one of those things that you really got to make part of your day, two agent calls on a daily basis, because you're here because you want to grow a team. And if you're already leading a team, make sure you instill that culture on your team, or those that are interested in creating this massive growth, and you'll be able to exponentially grow your organization. Let me do a quick surveying here of the audience, because we've touched 2 different elements here. One is the fact that, you can continue doing your production. No one is telling you. Everybody that's here in the panel, and there's a reason why they're in this panel. They're in this panel because they did not stop their production. They exponentially grew their production. I know Brent broke records since he came to EXP with his team, right? But then he carved out that little time, all right? He carved out that little freedom time to make those calls, all right? So let's put in the chat. First, I want you to put in the chat, and remember, we got 5 books that we're going to be giving out, so I want to see that chat blowing up. I want you to put in the chat, what is your production goal for the next year? I want you to put in there, what is your production goal for the next, 2021? All right. What do you want to? Okay, so we got some icons, 10 million, 1 million, 200, 15. That's what I'm talking about. 50 million. Amazing. Look at all that production. By the way, we are the #1 brokerage in production, the number 1 independent brokerage in the nation. And soon we're going to be taking over every brokerage, whether it's independent or not. And we're going to be taking over the world. Look at all that production. We need that production. We need you guys to sell houses. I'm selling houses. I still run a team. I still focus on selling every day. All right. And, Brent has been nibbling at the fact that I should tell my story, but some of the highlights of my story is I sold 3 houses my first year. That's it. And then I sold 7 my second year. I was just an average agent. And all I did well was model and duplicate. I found Jay Kinder, I found Michael Reese, huge mentors of mine. I copied the systems and the tools and resources that they were implementing. And I just literally became a great copycat. And I was able to grow my business to 30 sales, 50 sales, 100 sales, and building that team, becoming an icon agent, becoming a producer, while growing an EXP organization that is now over 1,100 agents. And now, I only brought into the company right now, I've got 36 agents that I personally introduced into the company, 36. However, because we're working together, because we're leveraging duplicable resources like the modelexplain.com, because we are introducing agents consistently into the model, we're growing, and we're all growing together. And this is from a guy that came to the United States at the age of 15, didn't know any English, sold 3 houses in his first year. So you guys, if you want it, you can do it. If you want it, there's nothing that can stop you. This panel is full truth of the fact that this is an equal opportunity for all of you. And all it takes is that commitment. All right. So a lot of you guys put into the chat your production goals for 2021. Now, what I want you to do right now, I want you to think about it for a moment. And I want you to, from your heart, not from your head, because a lot of you may have a goal that you throw in there and then you don't commit to it. From your heart, I want you to pick a goal of how many agents you're going to personally introduce into the company, just yourself. Remember, I've introduced 36. That's it. So I want you from your heart, touch your heart if you need to, close your eyes if you need to. I want you to put in the chat over the next 12 months, 2021, how many are you truly going to introduce personally? That's what I'm talking about. Look at that. Look at that momentum. Amazing. We can actually copy the results of this chat, and we will. I'm going to hold this accountability. I'm going to reach out to some of you guys based on your goals and make sure we hold you accountable. But your heart wants this. Your heart make this decision, not your head. So you got to go out there and work with your heart because you want it. Your soul wants it, right? And that's what we're here to do, to empower you to get to that goal. So write that down. You're committed to it. You're publicly committed to it. So let's make sure that we give you some strategies so that you can get this in motion. All right. So let's go. I want to go to Ken Williams here, who is obviously, Ken is probably going to sell around 10 million this year. He's got about 7 million already in production, and he's leading with the heart. He's leading, an amazing team. He's adding a ton of value. So Ken, how did you get to where you're at? How did you introduce these agents? How many do you have personally, and how did you do it?
Sure. I have about 15 personally, and as you said, close to 40 downline. And I'm like a lot of other people here. I'll be very honest, guys. Again, this is a honesty recruiting or even attracting. What I did and what I've been doing, Carlos, is providing value, and then not afraid to ask, is there anybody else I can help? So what I've been blessed with is I have people speaking on my behalf. And what I mean by that, and for those who are trying to remain successful, because I'll be honest with you, I cannot afford to say up my productivity to go out and attract. Because no, attracting is only part of it. They got to also be productive for you to get any residual income to come. I cannot afford to do that. So what I have been doing is I still represent EXP. I still represent opportunity, and I start speaking to the lender, the title company, the inspector. So it's already in line. You taught me, to stack. So what I do now, I just stack what I'm already doing, and I'm just adding the value to that. And before I know it, I got a lender or I got a title company or I have somebody calling me saying that I either want you to talk to this person or this person told me to come talk to you. I think about 3 of my agents were once my customer. So I give great value. And I usually do my real estate business so structurally and seamlessly that I joke with my customers and say, by the time we're done, you're going to think that you can do or want to do real estate. And ironically, you can. And some of them have actually taken me up on it to where some of my partners now are people who are actually my customers. So for me, I've just been doing what I've been doing. I do plan on ramping it up. And by this time next year, because I will start doing agent attracting type of opportunities. I've been blessed to be able to afford to do that. I can afford to do that. I just share my desire to help other people with what I'm already working with.
Awesome. Very good. So you're literally recruiting even your buyers and your sellers. Is that what you're telling me? That's amazing. And then, yes. Roughly said it, as well, because, your vendors are also recruiting machines for you. You've gotten agents introduced to you by your lenders, by the title companies, by your buyers, by your sellers. So the more you sell, the more you can grow this thing. Very good. So let's go into Dan Hillsman. So Dan, what are some of the secrets that have allowed you to grow this organization and, organically with no home runs, basically? The biggest team you brought aboard was 4 agents you mentioned earlier. So how have you done it? And you're an amazing leader, by the way, because you brought a few people and then you helped them bring a few people and then a few people and then a few people. And that's amazing. So we want to really break it down. Give us some specific strategies as to how you're going about doing that.
All right, great. That's a great question. So the first thing I decided to do when I got to the company was not to figure anything out myself. I was only going to do what had worked for people that were doing this and that was working. So I've said before, I'm a student of the game. I mean, I've latch on to those that are having success with it and pick their brain. Just recently went down to Orlando for a sprint event and went down a little bit early to hang out with Carlos in his office, because Carlos is a guy that I'm grateful for in my life. He's crushing it and he's been a big help to me. So, a smart play would be, hey, call Carlos, go a little early, go to his office and kind of tweak what I'm doing. So with that said, I mean, it's super simple how I do it, but attracting agents overall, it's a little bit, I would not ever say that that's super simple. Every now and then you'll get one and that was easy, but just overall it's not. So I really do just follow a pretty simple system of trying to be a human, talking to agency and generally how are they doing. I'm try to sincerely be interested in them, sincerely find out what their need is, and then see if they're open to hearing about a real estate opportunity. So I'm pretty casual and not pushy at all. But from there, if they're interested in hearing about a real estate opportunity, I'll whatever their need was, I'll focus a little bit on that, and then I usually tell them, you know what, I can do one of 2 things at this point. I have a video that we could watch, or I can invite you to a webinar. So what works best for you? So whichever one it is, and it's the Brent Go video. So we all have the ability to go to www.themodelexplained. And as Brent said, don't send that video out, schedule time to watch that video. It's 36 minutes. I've seen it hundreds of times. I'm excited about seeing it hundreds of more times. And, I'm grateful for Brent and his videos. So after that, nothing super magical about that. It's just Brent can explain in 36 minutes what would take me a lot longer to explain. Usually I'll tell them that whatever their need is, I'll say, we'll find that that's going to be in the video. So, if their need is an exit strategy, that's toward the end of the video. So we're going to watch the video, explain this opportunity in detail, and then we'll talk about their need a little bit more specifically. So, from there though, rarely does someone say, "Hey, that's fantastic. I'll join right now." I mean, that has happened a couple of times. But from there, I tell them a brokerage change is a pretty big deal. So prior to EXP, if you'd have just jokingly, if you'd have said, "Hey, what do you not want to do today?" I'd say, "I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't want to change brokers." So, I take that, and I am aware that most people that I'm talking to probably don't really want to go to the doctor or change brokers today. So with that said, I'm gentle about finding out, looking more into their pain or pleasure. And then it's all about, real estate agent. So it's all about follow-up, right? So follow-up. And then I try to, if they're interested more so at that point, then I set a call, a three-way call. If your sponsor can't do a three-way call, there are people in the company that'll be happy to do three-way calls for you. What I did not too long after I came into the company was I got with my sponsor and I said, "Hey, by the way, who are the 6 people above you in the company?" And so I know I call them all my sponsors, and I let all of them help me, and they'll all tell you that I reach out to all of them. And initially that was a little scary because some of the guys at the very top are pretty high level people in the company, but I thought I just won't ask permission. I'll just do it. And then if they tell me to cut it out, then I'll cut it out. But none of them did. They're all super great people. They're all happy to help me any way they can. So it's a pretty simple system. Find someone you can have a human conversation with, ask how they're doing, ask how's life, how's business. Are they open to hear, are they interested in hearing about a real estate opportunity? From there, find out their pain and pleasure, get them to a video, and then try to answer a few questions and set a three-way call if they're more interested in that point. And then after that point, it's still a lot of follow-up. Unless it's an agent. If it's an agent that's a good agent, it takes a while to bring over. So interestingly enough, not too terribly long ago, I brought a gentleman over 2 years to the exact day and back then I sent him a Brent Goat video, so I believe it was a Brent Goat video. Pretty sure about that, but it was 2 years to the day. I have a little system, and he actually came on board exactly 2 years to the day that I sent him that video. So it doesn't always happen. I've had a few come over in a couple of weeks, but generally speaking, it's more like a few months, and some are a year or two.
Awesome, man. Here's the thing, guys. At the end of the day, you gotta commit to carve out that time and do some of this stuff because I give it to Dan. I remember when he first started, and by the way, Dan and I are in 2 separate organizations, right? So he's like my brother in EXP, but he called me early on and he asked me to do a 3-way call with him, and I helped him out. We spoke to, that team that he was, talking to multiple times, and he leveraged that. And then I was doing a lunch and learn. I was doing an event in Orlando, and he drove from Georgia to Orlando to see the event that I was doing. And then obviously he came to Orlando for the sprint, and he spent half a day with me in my office. And he is a student of the game, and I would say better than me. I actually, when I started in EXP, I wanted to reinvent the wheel. And my first few months, I was trying to figure out, how to do it better. And back then, I've been with EXP about 3 years. The PowerPoint was, of a basic PowerPoint. The slides weren't as snazzy as the slides you have today. And I wanted to create a whole new PowerPoint. I wanted to do the meetings myself. And I was failing. I was really not getting any traction. And then I went to an event. I went to the first leadership event that Brent Gove put together. And that was in Scottsdale. And at that event, I realized what each of you here are realizing today. And I hope you're paying attention and you're listening. All right? There's people that came before you that are doing it with a simple system. All right? People came before you and did it with a simple system. So when I went to this event and I met these other leaders who had hundreds of agents and some of them thousands of agents, and they were using the basic PowerPoint. Some of them were using napkins, and they had hundreds of agents. And here I was wasting time trying to create a snazzy PowerPoint. do not reinvent the wheel, right? So that's one of the secrets of this model. And I know some of us, we tend to over entrepreneur things. Just want to become a great copycat, right? Copy different people in different markets, what it is that they're doing to succeed. And you'll realize that we're all using the same videos. We're all approaching this with a heart of abundance and value. And we are impacting people's lives in the process. So Jen, what has been one of your secrets that has led you to grow your organization to 142 agents?
You know what? I'll share 4 approaches that I have. Because I don't have just one way of doing things. I'm a very variety driven person. So there is just not one way for me. I got 4 different approaches that I think can help people. I don't know if there's anyone here, but this is what I get a lot of my agents that join with me. I get a lot of, I don't have time to be a recruiter. That's just like a whole nother job. So I don't know if anyone else is thinking that, but I've got a great one for you. Talk and meet with your co-op agents. So this is one way I've been doing this year. I'm actually just made an appointment today with my co-op agent on one of my deals today. And literally just being curious at the meeting. I never, to this day, talk about EXP. I still don't know everything that I probably should know about EXP. That could be my bad, but it's all good because I got amazing people around me that make sure that I'm in the know. But I literally meet with whoever I feel like we've already built rapport, whether it's a crazy deal, whether it's a bad deal. I actually love meeting with people that we've had a bad deal together. But I'm always trying to set up a meeting with my co-op agent. And literally, it's just coffee. It's just 30 minutes and it's just building a relationship. And that relationship turns into, hey, what are you doing next Tuesday? So the Alliance Group, we have trainings every Tuesday, every Thursday, sometimes on a Wednesday, sometimes on a Friday. But, you've got EXP World. You've got so many events to invite them to. So that brings me into my second approach, right? So if I have these relationships already, and then literally, let's just say next Thursday, I know that Brent Gove is going to go do a crazy presentation on taking listings. Well, guess who I'm going to call? I'm going to call my 3 or 4 friends or co-op agents that I've met with that I know who are listing focused. And I'm like, bro, we have a bomb presentation happening next week. I've got 3 tickets left. I'm going to give them to you. Can you be there? Can you commit? They're going to tell me yes, because if they tell me no, they hear the wrath of Jennifer, but they're going to tell me yes. And when they do, when I'm there, Carlos, tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm always hitting up. Hey, Carlos, I got so-and-so, I got da-da-da. Hey, Gil, I got so-and-so coming. I'm making sure that my leaders, that my coaches, that my mentors are aware that I will be hounding them at that presentation. So that way I can make that introduction. And the goal is when I am at that meeting with them or that presentation, right? They fell in love with Brent. Who doesn't fall in love with Brent? And they're like, oh my God, Jen, this is amazing. I'm like, yeah, girl, we actually have a mastermind going on about this same topic later on this evening. You got to come to that. What are you doing tonight? Drinks on me. And then guess what happens? She ends up coming and I really make sure that Carlos is available. And then I like to, not only just Carlos though, honestly, there are agents all around me, great friends of mine who are probably all watching this now. So I love you guys. Hello. But I make sure that that whoever I invited are not only hearing from Carlos, but I do make sure that they are being introduced to my friends / my coworkers, and they're being introduced to everyone, because I'm the kind of person, if I go into a room like this, it's great meeting the Jay Kenders and the Michael Reeses. Hell yeah. That's I get starstruck, but I want to talk to someone who is where I want to be in 6 months, right? And I know that I understand the importance of that. My job is, and this is the way I see agent attraction. This is honestly the way I live my life. I love being a resource to my friends, to my family, and especially to real estate agents who need a little lift in their business. Literally, I call myself, I am the resource. What do you need? If I don't have the answer, I will find the answer for you. And with that mindset and the mindset of contribution, that's literally where I come from all the time. I never meet with someone and make it about me and make it about why I joined EXP. My questions, and these are some good questions that I've taught other agents in my downline, and they duplicated it and killed it, and killing it. I ask them questions like, hey, so what are some of your goals now that we're approaching the end of the year, right? So, hey, so what are some of your goals for 2021? Like, where do you feel like you can do better at in your business? And my key question that I never leave a conversation is, do you love it where you're at? And I always emphasize the word love, right? Do you love it where you're at? And I don't know, some people can relate. I don't know if anyone, love is a word, that's a powerful word. If I love it where I'm at, if I don't love it where I'm at, you're gonna see my body do all kinds of quirky things when I lie to you. So when you ask that question, pay attention to the way that your person's breathing, pay attention to their body language, because that's going to tell you, do they really love it? Some people even stutter over words like, well, this is what I get a lot of. Well, I don't love it, but it's really good. Like, I love the people. Well, you don't love it. Awesome. Well, why? And then you just get curious. And then what if they say something like, man, I really wish, I'm really into digital, but no one around me is, they can't help me with the things that I really want to. Oh, well, let me connect you with Carlos, because that guy right there, he will blow your mind. And then I just literally make the connection and trust my upline will handle the rest. So, that's another approach. I like to also plant seeds. So when I talk to people sometimes, and these are people that I've known probably from the past or whatever, I literally just drop in their Facebook message and I'd be like, girl, you would kill it at EXP. The EXP was built for personalities like ours. And then that's it. I don't shut up. I just shut up. And then they'll be like, why? Or, I would find a characteristic of the other person, and I would say, and I just would drop into their DMs and just say, hey, dude, can you imagine the team that you can be able to create and make, and help or whatever? And then they'd be like, what are you talking about? So I like to plant seeds. And then the biggest thing, like I said, is I'm always inviting them to something else. And really the whole inviting them to the next thing, and I make sure if I'm at a meeting or if I'm at that Brent Gove presentation, I'm making sure that I am locking them in at that meeting for another meeting, religiously. I do not let them leave me without committing to see me again. And then literally just doing that, it really helps me build relationships, which ultimately I'm a very connection oriented person. So it really helps me with that. And really it's a freaking win-win. I get to help them on their business by just helping them make a connection. And then they get to work with me. So now I get to learn from you because you're going to join EXP. So my approach is really just about touching, being top of mind, loving on them, connecting them with their goals. But you can't do none of that unless you're asking questions. I never talk about EXP. I honestly am scared to talk about EXP because I might say the wrong thing, which is not a problem. I'm okay with that. So I treat it like if it's a listing appointment, you want to ask them, hey, why are you selling? Where are you going to go next? That's kind of the same concept when I'm meeting with other real estate agents. So what's your goals? Well, what are you going to do when you achieve that? Things like that. So, that's pretty much it. And I will stop talking. And I hope that helped.
That was fire after fire after fire. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Amazing stuff, Jen. And the crowd is loving you. And, I want you guys to start thinking already as we, get into Brent here in a second. What are you going to implement from what you're learning here today? Right? Start thinking, because I'm going to ask you to commit to that. I'm going to ask you to, put that in place. You don't have to put it in the chat right now, but think about what will your life be like if you brought in even 40 agents, right? Don was here on a stage earlier and he was saying, hey, even if you estimate $1,000 per agent or $500 per agent, do the math. It can vary based on their production, but do the math. To keep it simple, let's say it's $1,000 per agent and you just bring an organization of, 75. Well, that is $75,000 potentially. And that's not even cappers, right? So what would that do to your life? What would that do to you and your family? What could you do with that revenue? Start thinking about that and start thinking about that number of agents that, you want. And then what are the actions that you're willing to commit to in order to get to that end goal? Because at the end of the day, you got to picture it. You got to savor it. You got to really want it with your heart, with that energy. It's all about you. We're here because we want to help you. We want to impact you. We want to have you walk out of here with new goals, new vision, new strategies that take you to finally blow up this revenue share game beyond your wildest dreams. And I know some of you guys here already have 500, 1,000, 2,000 agents, but we're just getting warmed up. And can your team really feel the same passion that you're feeling right now? And how do you transmit that to them? How do you deliver that to them? And how do you make them commit so that now you take that organization from 1,000 to 10,000? All right. So Brent, we have so much fire so far. What are some secrets, some tips, some tricks, some strategies that you've implemented in your business to help you take things to the next level?
In regards to agent attraction or selling homes, where are you going?
We're going with attraction, 100%.
Okay. So as far as, and by the way, I'm just, again, Ken, Dan, Jen, I'm just sitting here. I can't write notes quick enough. I'm just freaking out. This is like gold. You guys are so good, man. And Jen, man, I would not want to sit across the table from Jen. She's like analyzing my pupils, my heart rate. Is there sweat coming from my forehead? But that was so funny. Jen, you are a beast, man. I don't know you that well, but I cannot wait to get to know you. You're a machine. I'm like, woo. Always be willing to learn. So as far as what I've done to grow my business is do you have a business plan? Everybody wants to make $500,000 a year, $250,000 a year, $1 million a year, $10 million a year. Show me your business plan. Now, here's the good news. It's the fourth quarter. It's 2020. It's recruiting season. Agents flat out move. Everybody knows this at every company. Their agents are vulnerable, even ours. So make sure you're loving on your agents and supporting your agents. Agents move brokerages in November, December. It is hunting season. Whale hunting is open. Get out there. And not that people are whales or fish or deer or whatever, but man, get out there and their gates they get retrospective. They start thinking about their goals. Did I achieve them? Did I not? Maybe I could use a change. Maybe I should check out this EXP thing. So they get very reflective. And so this is the time. So again, what I did was I carved out that time. I didn't do a 2-10-40. And we've talked a lot about it. I saw some of the chat. It sounds like Keller Williams. It is a Remax, Sotheby's, Century 21, Berkshire Hathaway, Keller Williams, and many of the other company. A 2-10-40 is taught by John Chapla. It's taught by so many trainers. It is not a Keller Williams thing. The reason you think it's a Keller Williams thing is because you were at Keller Williams. The Remax agents think it's a Remax thing, the managers, right? And so 2-10-40 is just, it's how you, like Don said it best, it's what you're in control with. You've got to stay in control of what you're in control. You're in control of that. And like I saw Simmons, well, we need some new numbers. Heck yeah, baby. Forget it. 2-10-40. 2-10-40s for sissies. Do a 10, 50, 200. Become a beast, man. Why not? Here's why not. You'd care so much about your precious ego. You'd rather spend $250,000 buying a Coldwell Banker franchise or a Keller Williams franchise or $1 million buying a McDonald's on a 10-year waiting list because it's so much more fun to risk your money. People would, no, people don't want to lose. Yes, you do too. You'd rather pay 10 grand a month for leads or 20 grand or buy a franchise. This requires you risking your ego, reaching out to people. And sometimes people aren't nice. Instead of being offended and taking offense, which builds offense, stop being a fence builder and quit getting offended and realize that hurt people. I had a Keller Williams OP a year and a half ago rip my head off and hand it to me. I didn't like it either. But instead of getting pissed off and firing back and letting him have it, guess what? I had empathy for him. I would never treat anybody. There's people I don't love everybody. People say, oh, I tell my wife, oh, I love Carlos. He's so cool. Wait till you meet Jen, Ken, Dan, or somebody. She's like, you say that about everybody. You love everybody. But the truth is, there's people who are hard to love. And this guy was so bad. But instead of being mad at him or being offended and how dare him and whatever, and he was just flat, mean as a pit viper. I mean, he was brutal. But instead of being offended, I had empathy. I thought, everyone write down the word empathy. What is going on in his or her life that is so bad that's causing them? Because write this down. My pastor taught me this 20 years ago. Hurt people. Write that down. That'll help you a lot. Instead of being offended, just realize they've had a pretty rotten childhood. Or there's this one guy, it happened one time in 25 years. We went nose to nose. I went into his Coldwell Banker office because he was so bad on the phone. I'm like, hey, I'm 2 stoplights away from your Cold. You want Douglas? Yeah. I'll meet you in the lobby. Never done it in 25 years. I come flying in. He comes flying out. It turns out he's from New Jersey, and people from New Jersey don't back down. And it turns out he was only from New Jersey. I'm big. He was big. He's just as big as me. And his agents came out and we were this close to throwing down in his lobby. And it was wrong on my part. I should have never gone into his office, but I let him offend me. And this is like a long time ago. It was like 3 weeks ago. I'm just kidding. This is like probably 17 years ago when I was less mature and I was a young man, 39 years old or whatever, 38. And I let him offend me. And then I got in his face rather than realize what I found out after I apologized and we made up and kissed and made up, and I literally apologized, and he called me back and told me I was a bigger man than him. He said he wanted to kill me. He wanted to physically hurt me, and he apologized. We actually became friends, and when I moved to Keller Williams as a team leader, he was the #1 office agent in the office, and he gave me more support, more love, more backing than anyone at that office ever. And he and I were the guys who almost punched each other's lights out. So why am I telling all you this? I didn't know was that his daughter had been diagnosed with cancer that day. And me, just being offended, building a fence and marching to his office, I got in his space. Yes, he shouldn't have treated me there, but I should have never marched in there. But you don't know what's going on in people's life. And he became a person that was not his norm, and he was upset, emotionally disturbed, and he ripped my head off. And so I learned from that. And as long as you learn from your mistakes, it's all good, baby. And like Jen said, and like Dan and Ken, so I'm a little off base with the topic, but carve out the time, have a business plan, and then maybe hire someone to be your COO, Chief Operating Officer. I have James Stroop. I have my wife, and they both have pointed shoes. And I said, do not let me talk to people about $5 million listings between Friday 2 and 5. My future is not a $5 million listing, and I'll prove it to you. Everybody in the audience, type in the chat bar how many, and I'll hand this back to you, Carlos. Type in how many homes you sold 4 years ago. I'll go first. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I sold 60 homes personally. There's my 60. If you see, whoops, gone. Okay, so 0, 8, 20, 54, 30, blah, blah, blah. You see it all going. Okay, it's good. You guys are rabid animals. They all win your books, Carlos. So that was 4 years ago. I meant to say 5 years ago. I mixed up the error. So now everybody type in the chat bar how much you earn today from those 24, 25, 45, 50, 60, 100, 200, 300 homes you sold 4 or 5 years ago. Everybody type in the chat bar what that earns you today. So, okay, everyone stop typing. Carlos, you're going to have to get about $500. But here's the deal. So type this out. So here's the deal. The ROI, and I just typed that in there. I don't know if 4 or 5 years ago, even last year. Now, the 40 agents I listed 4 years ago earns me like a crazy amount of money. Like if we told people at other companies, they go, he's lying, it's manufactured, blah, 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 blah. But it's real. It's for real. And it's pretty cool. Am I all about money? No. But I leave my family to provide for my family. So here's the deal. What you do, the 5, 10, 15, 20 agents you enrolled this year will change your life. I set out 4 years ago, Carlos, to enroll 10 or 15 agents part-time, have them grow to maybe 80 to 100, and then maybe make 70, 80,000 a year rev share. That was my big vision. And Monday, I was blessed to win the Vision Award for EXP. Glenn Samper gave it to me on stage. Vision Award. And my vision was so small 4 years ago. I'm like, well, busy with my team. I'm happy. I love Keller Williams, but I think I'm going to try this EXP thing. I bet you I could enroll 10 or 15 agents, and then they would maybe at the end of the year have 80 to 100. And I remember telling the Remax president that met with me for lunch after I left Keller and went to EXP, he never heard of EXP. I remember him telling him, but if the stars align, and I'm not a star guy, I don't even know my, whatever that stuff is, but if it all worked out, it's just a saying, right? I might have 200 or 300 to make $250,000. And the president of Remax burst out laughing. He goes, son, I have 18 managers to run my 37 different offices. And all 18 of them full-time job is to recruit. We don't add 200 or 300 agents in a year. We don't do that. Well, see, I didn't either. We work as one. We have financial alignment. And guess what? I did not recruit 200 to 300 my first year. We as one, us, all of us recruited 878. Now, I never hit my big goals. I certainly never quadruple my big goals. Holy moly. This is so much bigger than me, you, Carlos, Ken, Dan, Jen, everybody in the audience. It's not about you. Jen did a great job. She said, find out about them. What makes them, Tim? Let me ask you a question. Do you love your office? Do you really love it? And then wait for their answer and watch. Oh, I don't love it, but I'm really happy. So you don't love it. Well, why don't you love it? What would make you love it? And you're like, well, I don't know about KB Core. I don't know about technology. She said a great thing. Let me introduce you to Carlos. He's a tech genius. Yesterday, someone literally said, I them to an agent who's not even in my group who's very successful at KB Core. They spoke yesterday, and that agent signed up yesterday. You guys don't have to know KB Core. You know what I know about Instagram? Nothing. I'm told I have an account, and my social media people run it. How'd you like to have people? You have people for stuff, and it's so awesome having people. I love people, and I treat them good, and I take care of them. But you delegate your weaknesses. I'm like Henry Ford. If you guys meet, you're like, he's really not that smart. I love golf and I love sushi. I have talents for travel and beaches and stuff like that. But I hire people who are really smart. I surround myself with smart people and they help me. Henry Ford was brilliant at that. He built that little company called the Ford Motor Corporation. So you guys, you don't have to know all this. Progress before perfection. Execution trumps strategy every day of the week. Get out there, be excited. And I'll end with this, Carlos, and hand it back to you. Enthusiasm, Zig Ziglar always said, is the key to your success. The last 4 letters of the word enthusiasm. I am sold myself. And the reason people respond to Ken and to Dan and Jen and you, Carlos, and me is because we're sold. And we share that raw enthusiasm. And guess what happens, baby? It's game over. People are like, I don't know what that is, but I want to get me some of that, Zig Ziglar says. And I better ask more questions, learn more, and then it just comes. Because it's like, I must be missing something. And I'm sure some people thought I was a bit crazy. They thought Walt Disney was crazy, but going to Walt Disney World in February. I'm looking forward to it. They thought Elon Musk was crazy when he talked about a rocket and put people. They don't think he's crazy anymore. They think everybody's crazy who does something great. They thought Martin Luther King was crazy when he said, "I have a dream for little black boys and little white boys to play together and hang out. I have a dream." You didn't say that back then. They thought all kinds of people were crazy, man. If people aren't calling you crazy, you're not making it happen. You're not risking your ego. You're playing it safe. And I want to go through life going, I left it all on the field. I love. Listen to me. There are people who are not going to respond to it. Just look for the people who do. 25 people a month told me no. Jay Kinder told me no. Don Yoakum told me no. Tom Daves, Curtis Johnson. These are huge guys. Big business told me no. Brent got them all. These people told me no, but I moved on. I still loved them. I didn't say curse God and die. I said, "Hey, I'm your friend. How can I help you?" And they ended up getting an EXP under other people. That's awesome. I don't know worries. I don't get them all either. But you guys can focus on the people you didn't get. I'm telling you, it's a mistake. Focus on your blessings. Focus on what's good, not what on bad. You focus on bad, you watch CNN. Constant negative news. That's what CNN stands for. All the news, it's negative. Stop. I haven't watched the news in 10 days. I can't change it. Well, no matter what your political thoughts are, I can't change what happens in the news. If someone crashes in a plane, there's a bus wreck, if there's an earthquake, if there's a tsunami, and there's dead bodies on the beach, I don't need to see that, man. Protect what goes into your mind. I literally won't let myself, I'm not ignorant. I know enough to know what's going on. Baby, your future is so bright if you'll just embrace it. Anyways, I'm sorry, Carlos, I went a little long there, but I'm handing it back to you.
Mic drop right there. Amazing. Brent, Jen, Dan, Ken, always bringing it. Appreciate you all. Here's what we're going to do, guys. So I want you to put in the chat just one thing from your heart, the first thing that comes to your mind that you're committing to doing this week and implementing. Put it in the chat right now. We're wrapping up because we've got to prepare for another session. Super proud of everybody here. You stuck around. The attendance grew as we went on, and you crushed it. And you're going to commit to implement, to put things in place. I am going to announce a few book winners already, and I'm going to pick 2 more from what I'm going to review in the chat. So I'm going to copy everything. But love Deja Gill was engaged. Hank Abig, my brother Hank, was engaged like crazy in there. Appreciate you, bro. Danny Pena was engaged like crazy as well. So we got those 3. I'm going to go through a chat and get a couple more. I'm going to contact you on Workplace. I'm going to send you a copy of Momentum, Brent Go's book, because that's what you need right now. You need to build momentum. You need to take massive action. You need to realize that your sales do not have to suffer for you to grow your real estate business to the next level with an EXP organization. All you have to do is make a decision, do it with your heart, go out, leverage what's been laid out in front of you, and crush it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for the finalists. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm getting a lot of inboxes right now, which I love you all. Thank you so much. And I'll be glad to mastermind with anyone. I'm going to put a link to my Facebook group in the chat. If you are interested in masterminding and following up to this, just click the link, and I'm going to post information on a follow-up to this if you're interested.
Thank you so much for that, Jen. That's amazing. That's the community you guys are part of. Abundant givers who are here to contribute and give you all they've got. So thank you so much, Jen, for leading the way and doing that. And as I always say, guys, let's crush it. It's a wrap. Thank you very much, everybody.
Great job, guys. You guys crushed it.
Awesome. Glad to make Mama proud.
Love you guys.
Love you, V. Thank you so much for representing and bringing the crew.
You know it.
Hey, thank you, Carlos.